My Beautiful Daughter by Cathy Crichlow. Always pleasant, always smiling, loving, caring, opinionated, confident, self assured, never afraid to take a chance, went after what she wanted, and said what was on her mind. She loved to travel both by plane and by car. Disney World was one of her favorite places on earth. Despite my concerns, she assured me each time she would be well, and she was on both occasions she visited Disney. Similarly, she planned our trips to New York and found ways to ensure we had a good time even after our money was spent. Though she experienced some health challenges during our last trip, these did not impede her desire to explore. We had museums to visit, bus tours to attend, and friends to see. She had a very warm, vibrant personality, and my friends loved her from their first meeting, and she loved them. The car was hers, so much so that once she got her license, I was dropped off and picked up. Then she would decide our route, how many stops, and where. She was always thinking and possessed a quick wit. She had an answer for everything and always had an opinion on everything while offering good advice to her friends. She is attributed with having turned more than one young person around. She was the organizer among her friends. She planned picnics, beach days, and safaris often when she could. Once Allencia knew you, she would go to the ends of the earth for you once you needed it. She was always seeking fairness and justice where she felt injustice was occurring. I had to listen through more than one of her rants about her friends that she thought were not being treated properly by their parents. Friends with boyfriends or girlfriends that were not nice to them. She did not understand and showed no patience with them. She was always on a mission, and I was often roped into her plans. She was my rock, my light, a light that will not be dimmed. She lived life to the fullest and did not allow anything, anyone, or illness to take away her smile. Sleep peacefully, my love, until we meet again.
Tribute by Stephen Padmore. God loaned me an angel whom we call Allencia Nayala. We shared a bond which spanned from a few hours after birth to a few minutes before her passing this mortal life, and was the envy of some children at school. Together, we've been through this period in joy and pain, in the sun and rain, on land and in the air. It was my deep belief that Alencia's role was to teach me how to love and how to go after things I desire without fear and against the odds. As we traverse Barbados together, either during my job or just spontaneously, she has the ability to draw people towards her without saying a word, while I remain temporarily invisible. Even when visiting homes, the smaller children quickly gravitated to her, and when they decided to terrorize her, she ignored her pains and gave them their moment of happiness, even though we may have to take her to the doctor later. For those people she loved, it showed, and those she just tolerated, she just dismissed so sweetly and subtly they had no clue. Alicia knew she had a lifetime illness, but she also had a life to live and was determined to go after things she desired no matter what. She had made up in her mind that on her 17th birthday she will have a learner's permit and by Christmas to be a licensed driver. While learning and the mild thing wasn't working for her, she quickly switched to automatic. On the day of the test, she said she spent about 10 minutes on the road because the examiner said he wasn't wasting time with her, and she got her driver's license easily. It was on a Thursday that I took her on her first journey from hospital to home. And so it was on a Thursday I took her on her final journey from home to hospital. It was on a Good Friday that I gave her a slap which left my fingerprints on her leg for not paying attention. And so it was on a Good Friday that she gave me a slap which left me hurt for not paying closer attention to the role she was to play in my life. There were times on this journey when I said, God, you rule unfair. Why do you allow this beautiful, loving child to suffer so much while other disgusting people continue to live a good life? In my human mess, I missed some teachable moments. I believe that while I pass the test, it is not with flying colors, but I will continue to learn. And so, as I say farewell to you, my darling daughter, I thank God for every moment we spent together and would not trade it for anything else. As you journey on in spirit, my angel, it is my hope that you will bring life, hope, and comfort to another family somewhere while making a difference to humanity.
message from head girl. When I entered the gates of Springer Memorial School in 2007, I never expected that I would reach the position of head girl. This level of leadership as head of the student body wasn't even in my thoughts at 11 years old. I didn't think I had the potential of being where I am today, but this experience has proved little me wrong. I received a call requesting that I come to school the following day dressed in full school uniform for an interview for the post of head girl. I was a bit nervous, but yet I accepted. When I entered the interview room, I entered with confidence and answered the questions to the best of my ability. On September 5th, the words, "And the head girl for the year 2012 to 2013 is..." Then there was a 5-second pause, and Mrs. King uttered, "Allencia Crichlow." At that moment, I was both shocked and nervous. However, when the term started, I quickly and easily adapted to the role, doing all my duties and ensuring that my student body performed their tasks the way they should. The year as head girl was a very productive and successful one. I have learned how to lead and how to help others. This year, my goal was to lead and help others along the way. Thank you.
I hope the days come easy and the moments pass slow, and each road leads you where you wanna go. And if you're faced with a choice and you have to choose, I hope you choose the one that means the most to you. And if one door opens to another door closed, I hope you keep on walking till you find the window. If it's cold outside, show the world the warmth of your smile. But more than anything, more than anything, my wish for you is that this life becomes all that you want it to. Your dreams stay big, your worries stay small. You never need to carry more than you can hold. And while you're out there getting where you're getting to, I hope you know somebody loves you and wants the same things too. Yeah, this is my wish. I hope you never look back, but you never forget all the ones who love you in the place you left. I hope you always forgive and you never regret